back down to 6,500 feet or so. It's quite warm, consequently. It's aspens and willows, geraniums, lupins, sunflowers. That's pretty much what it looks like along the East Fork of the Jarbidge right here, which is rather big and rushing just to my left. Balsam rises are pretty much toast. Down here, the agastache is looking all in fruit as well. It's quite prolifically blooming higher up, just a bit higher. That is quite a range out here, elevationally speaking. So this is the walk for several miles, continuing down canyon. Eventually find a way westwards towards the base of Jarbidge Peak and associates, which form the main ridge of the Jarbidge Mountains. Even if the surroundings are becoming quite dry steppe, it looks like, this is a rather mesic river bottom. So very green, of course. Starting to brown in the openings. Whatever fire hit these parts last was hot and extensive. It flew through a zone that's not very well forested. And when there is forest on the river bottom here, it even was able to engulf such mesic bodies as occur here. A lot of it's come back. A lot of the riparian stuff sends up suckers underground, so maybe they're a little bit better adapted to come back after fire. Aspen does that too. It's a sambucus. And it's sparse Cercocarpus steppe up there, it looks like, and some of that got engulfed as well. Almost thought there was a Russian olive for a second, so glaucous the leaves are. No, it's a salix. Continuing down the East Jarbidge Canyon. Got some decisions to make ahead. When and where to head west. Whether to continue beyond the wilderness so I can collect a few plants. Not supposed to collect in wilderness unless you got special permissions. So eager to at least pick up a few things up here near Idaho. But I'll be out of the wilderness soon anyway, because the whole area around and at the base of, and even indeed along the high ridge, is for some reason not in the wilderness. Interestingly enough. It's a nice day here, breeze and with a wet shirt. It's always a privilege to be able to cool down with dunking various garments into the water. How about that for a river in Nevada. No longer in the Great Basin, of course. This is heading towards the Snake River. Left the East Fork, climbing up the 3-day creek trail now. The steppe down here is quite dried out. I'll go in the fruit for the most part. Now I'm heading west-northwest towards the settlement of Jarbidge, which we will not see. I'm heading also towards the wilderness boundary, and eventually, by the end of today, towards the base of the high peaks. East Jarbidge is far below in that canyon. Far below now after quite a climb. A little bit cooler up here on the balsamariza and cercocarpus steppe, on the sagebrush steppe. This would have been quite the place 2 weeks ago. Now it's not spectacular at all. I've seen super blooms like this, the balsamariza and the rubies, in late July, so it's a precip problem. And they naturally tend to dry out a bit earlier than some other taxa. This would have been mesmerizing indeed 2 weeks ago. So this is the high northern edge of Nevada. High northeastern edge, if you will. Doesn't look high, but we're above 8,000 here on the sagebrush steppe. Aspens and conifers over there. The flat desert to the north is Idaho. Looks brown indeed. See the Jarbidge River Canyon as well. Not so good there. I can see it at least. It's distant and hazy. Sublime, beautiful place up here. Crossing the northern tablelands at the moment. The forest looks a lot healthier over here. Not perfect, but a lot healthier. See some crop on top there. There are rather rugged canyons dropping off from these tablelands into the Jarbidge Basin. Got 1 or 2 major drainages to cross here before I'm at the base of Jarbidge Peak, or at least in the right basin. I'm into the trailhead. There's a lot of stuff here. So I reached a trailhead / ranch camp back there. Gonna continue west just a little bit. Diverge from something I want to walk further someday. when there's cooler temps lower down. And I'm curious what's on those northern edge plains for sure. However, I'm gonna turn west a bit and then climb south into the highest ridge of the Jarbidge. At this point I'm getting towards the northwest edge of the Jarbidge, so that if I were to go north or west from here, I'd generally be going down to the desert. We'll turn up into that away pretty soon, so that we're not going down into that. It's hot down there, even this far north. Maybe even especially this far north. Idaho has lots of 100+ degree deserts. Quite hazy out there into the sunset. Heard on the radio coming up here that there was wildfire smoke in Boise, so guess it's all the same crap. And I presume that's coming from Northern California. So here it is, the high Jarbidge ahead. Most alpine looking stuff yet out here, from what I can see at least in the shadow. Might be a little forest up top, or a couple trees, not much though. Traversing over to the Jack Creek drainage via this road, which begins up Jack Creek and at some point I imagine becomes a trail, or at least a jeep road. At some point it ends, of course. High up though. Some bromus inermis flowering and golden in the sunshine. It's always nice to have some ancestors around still. And a crap ton of tragopogon throughout this trip, especially in the steppes. Tells you it does very well here in otherwise only lightly disturbed environments. There's a glacial circle there. Forest facing snow patches still held. Looks incredible. So there's the alpine, I suppose. Becoming less and less so all the time with trees, it looks like. Beautiful sunset with the fire haze there. See it? Was a big tree blocking off the road back there, and now it's becoming quite overgrown indeed. It'll disappear sooner or later. Probably high up though. This is a very rare sight in Nevada indeed. Vaccinium. Blueberries. As with a lot of the dry subalpine openings of the west, they are not doing much, especially this time of year. That's what the native blueberries look like. Bilberries are better called. None to show you. Completely sterile, it looks like. Kind of ground spreading twiggy things of the subalpine. Much more common west of here, the Rockies and such. East of here. And west in the Sierra Cascades. There's one just starting to ripen from an inferior ovary. Top of that is where the other parts were all attached to, petals and sepals and whatnot. This part's just beginning to ripen to the juicy blue portion we all know and love. Some pyrolas starting to bloom, but nothing happening quite yet. Widespread northern cold species. Most members of the genus are like that. About to gain the ridge, whether here or over there, I'm deciding. I need water. I know there's snow on top of the ridge, but don't know exactly where. So I might go around that corner and gain the ridge over there. And start the traverse. Lots of oxaria here. Below the snowfields. Amongst the taluses and screes. That's where you're most likely to find it. It's a little sweet to the taste. Quite sweet to the taste. This ridge ahead of me looks like the best way up yet. Here's the great drop off into Idaho, obscured in haze. Here I'm climbing rock shelves to the heights of the Jarbidge. Looking a bit chopped up and intense up here. I think I'll have to go around. The summit itself is the one that looks lower, but's to the left there. So it looks totally doable. We'll just circumvent the mess. So able to cross over to the west side. That's the first summit of the traverse. Bald.